they don't have to worry about that after the incompletion.
Not at all. 3rd and goal. Jackson running around. Little jump pass, touchdown. Bateman. Rashad Bateman. And they have the lead again.
That was like a jump shot. I mean, he has shown an ability tonight to work from the pocket. He's shown the ability to get outside. He's shown a lot of velocity when he's had to put something on it. And he's also shown a lot of these touch passes that he's thrown to these receivers, to Mark Andrews. That time, it was, like I said, wait till you see this follow through. It was like a Steph Curry jump shot for a touchdown.
That's 4 touchdown passes for Jackson tonight. The Ravens have scored touchdowns on 4 straight drives, and Tucker's extra point is good.
So it kind of works out for Cincinnati. It doesn't work out. They gave up points, but they have at least some time to work now for Burrow and Chase. And here's this throw. Watch this little Steph Curry little jump, and look at the follow through.
Yep.
In the perfect location. Your guy Bateman with the go-ahead touchdown.
6 catches for Bateman tonight. 4 touchdown passes for Lamar. He's thrown for 290 now. There's Bateman working on Taylor Britt.
Put that foot in the ground, works the other way. He's got him. Look at Lamar. As soon as he threw it, he starts to head to the bench. You know, they had 71 yards in the first half passing, 219 and 3 touchdowns in the second half.
I think they made a few adjustments at the half.
Yeah, I think they did. It's going to be fun to see what Joe Burrow and Chase can do here.
You never know. Ain't over, baby. 7-point lead. Tucker. His kick. Down in the end zone.
This comes down to, well, the offensive line give Joe Burrow time to throw. Joe Burrow lives for these kind of opportunities with the pressure on. No timeouts, down 7.
Chased out. Throws. Can't be one-handed by Gesicki because Owe put the pressure on. 2nd and 10 with 1:44.
Interesting decision with Zach Orr, first-time defensive coordinator, learning as he goes, doing a good job. Dane Pease, who's upstairs, came over a few weeks ago to help him out. They dial up pressure there. Instead of sitting back in a prevent defense, they dial it up. Get after Burrow.
Chase to the right. Burrow pressured as he throws, and Chase can't make the grab that time. Matabiki has had 3 sacks tonight. Forced that issue. 3rd down.
It looked like they may have gotten a hold of Joe Burrow's face mask there on the follow-through. Let's see if it did. Matabiki right there. Yeah, he got his thumb. Yeah, he actually grabbed onto it. No call, so it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, we saw that in the Viking-Ram game.
Yeah, we sure did.
A couple of weeks ago. No call. 3rd and 10.
They're going maximum protection. They got 2 tight ends in that backfield.
Burrow fires over the middle. Nobody home there. So 4th down. Down to 1 more play.
Again, Zach Orr brings the pressure. Burrow had to get the ball out. Miscommunication. Vucevic not making that move over the middle where they've had so much success tonight. Here's play of the game.
Last gasp. On 4th down, Burrow fires, and that is going to be caught at the 40-yard line.
Wow.
And they're going to give him the first. No, they are. They give him the first down.
Whoa.
Vucevic with the first down. And they stop the clock. You can't challenge anything at this point, but you can upstairs take a look at it, which they're doing. So they'll look at this upstairs. Whoa, where's the ball?
Where's that ball when that knee touches?
Can't be any closer than that. Terry McCauley, what are you seeing?
Yeah, well, we're going to look for a down-the-line shot. Where is the nose of the ball when the knee touches? If it touches the 40, it's a first down. We haven't seen anything yet so far it's clear and obvious that would reverse this.
By the way,
as of now, it's going to stand, guys.
Yeah, it looks like he's on the line when the ball comes down. By the way, what an effort with the game on the line to come up with that catch.
There's the knee down. That's the end of the play, but where's the point of the ball? If it's on the 40-yard line, it's a first down. If it's a first down, you have a 121. They still have that timeout. And the ball will be at the 40-yard line. Meanwhile, let's note as you look at Jackson, 4 touchdown passes tonight. Puts his arm around the GM, Eric DaCosta. So right now, Lamar Jackson has thrown 24 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions this season.
24-2.
24-2.
Oh, man. Not to mention what he does with his legs, over 500 yards rushing. Again, by the way, Burrow once again gets hit as he makes that throw.
And the Bengals have already started the huddle, which leads us to believe they've already told Cincinnati it's going to stand, even though Clete Blakeman is looking at it. Harbaugh wants to wave it off, but to no avail here because we think it's going to stand. From our inside information, whatever that is.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It'll be first down.
So here we go. 81 seconds, 1 timeout.
They keep moving Jamar Chase. They've been doing it all night. He's been on the left, been in the slot. Now he's down at the bottom right here.
Meanwhile, Burrow has now thrown for 399 yards. Burrow fires, incomplete. Gesicki is there. He's smothered by Darius Washington. 2nd and 10.
Again, with Kyle Hamilton down, these defensive backs have had to move around. Darius Washington, who's a corner, he's 5'8". Gesicki is 6'5", 6'6". Gets that right hand around that length of Gesicki and is able to extend it and knock the ball away. That's a heck of a play by an undersized defensive back.
To the outside. Chase. Flag is thrown on the play.
That's on Marlon Humphrey.
Yep.
Grabbed a hold of receiver Sivash.
Of course, if it's on the defense, it's an automatic first down. And they would take the penalty. Got 106 now. That only took a handful of seconds.
How did he get a hold of the shoulder pad or the face mask there, Humphrey?
Well, there's a conference going on here with all of the officials.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask.
He did.
Number 44.
That'll be tacked on to the back end of this play.
That's
That's 15 more yards.
Well, it's interesting. They missed one face mask but got the other.
Yeah, right. And it's the veteran Humphrey gets that right hand up. Josivash there just trying to get off the line of scrimmage.
So the ball now at the Raven 45. 66 seconds. Deep drop, under pressure, throws. He's got Chase again. And Chase to the 23, but a flag is thrown on this play with 2 flags in the offensive backfield.
Burrow got destroyed after he threw this ball.
Half a distance to the goal line, first down.
On Broderick Washington.
Yeah. Watch after. By the way, he's been hit all night, gets hit underneath, gets hit over top. They follow through, drive him into the ground. Washington does. And look where the location of that ball is. Once again, under duress. He gets it to his guy, half the distance to the goal line, and in a blink of an eye, they're inside the red zone. They're inside the 15-yard line.
21-yard pass, 15-yard penalty. A lot going on here. If they score, do you go for 2? Meanwhile, if they score now,
don't score too fast.
No, the Ravens have plenty of time.
Yeah,
they've got 2 timeouts. 59 seconds from the 12. Burrow to the back corner of the end zone and incomplete there, intended for Burton, covered by Nate Wiggins, second down.
I'm just amazed how Joe Burrow sits in that pocket. He doesn't have happy feet. He gets hit almost every time he throws. Every week of the season, not tonight, every week since this is year 5, and the guy doesn't flinch. It's remarkable.
Those piercing eyes surveying that defense, 2nd and 10. Hangs in the pocket again, fires, caught at the 5-yard line. Chase makes stack reps of Chase tonight. 11 catches. 266, you got a flag down on the play.
On the other side, all the way over by the Cincinnati sideline.
Yeah, away from the play itself.
I think it's probably on Van Noy. 53 may have jumped.
Offside. Defense number 53 lined up in the neutral zone. Coming 5 yards. Replay. Second down.
Yeah, they'll take the call because it makes it 2nd down and 5.
Right. Trying to get a jump, then he kind of gets caught. He's trying to pull himself back.
So 50 seconds. Ball at the 7. Burrow flushed out to Brown. And Brown is out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So Chase Brown is there. It's going to be 3rd and 3. And again, the Bengals still have that 1 timeout.
Still holding on to that timeout. And with 42 seconds, I mean, again, Lamar Jackson and his group of receivers and the kicker that, they don't need a ton of time. Right now, Joe Burrow is probably not worried about time. He's worried about trying to get the ball into the end zone. And then it's decision time, if they do, for Zach Taylor.
Chase lined up to the right side. Looks that way. Throws that way. Caught! Chase! What a night! Touchdown. 38 seconds. Well, this is as good as their first meeting this year. It turned out to be. So now, if you're Cincinnati, what do you want to go for 2? You want to go for 1? What do you want to do here?
Whoa, this is Zach Taylor has been aggressive all night.
Yep, they're going to go for it.
Yep.
They're going for the lead. I don't want to say the win yet. Because the Ravens are going to get the ball back, and they've got 2 timeouts.
Well, he's got a matchup already. You can see that he wants right there. It's Stevens against Chase. Yep, he's got him all isolated. Take it. That's what you want.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting.
Zach Taylor came all the way down and called the timeout.
Yeah. Its 3rd and final timeout.
Now let's take a peek at this touchdown. And once again, it's a great throw and a really nice job. But you got a rookie corner in Wiggins, and you got a linebacker here in Simpson, and you got 2 guys that take the flat. The read is you got an underneath receiver and you got a deep receiver. You're supposed to only be reading 1 defender, but there's 2 guys that take the underneath receiver, and he's able to go up and over both of them, and a spectacular catch there by Jamar Chase once again.
So they wanted to see what the defense had. So you're right. He had the matchup he wanted.
Yeah. Now they come out into a completely different formation.
Totally.
The question now, no, there you go. There goes Chase. He's got it again. He's got that same matchup.
Same thing. Joseph's to the right side. Chase to the left side. To the right side he goes. Incomplete at the goal line. Washington breaking it up. No flag. And the Ravens are going to pull off a big victory. Down by 14 at one point. Even Orr is shaking his head.
Yeah. Look, watch Gesicki, who he didn't look to, but watch how physical this route is. He's got 2 Ravens on him. They grab a hold of him, and he right away, that's defensive holding right there that they should have called. And here's Hudson matched up one-on-one, again, with an undersized defensive back. Ball's just too high. But I think the frustrating thing, Gesicki right away throwing his arms up in the air, asking where is the defensive holding call? I don't think Zach Taylor wanted to give Lamar Jackson an opportunity into overtime. I just don't think he wanted to. It scored 4 straight touchdowns, and he didn't want to roll the dice. He saw that in Cincinnati Week 5, and he said, let's take a chance here and try to win it while we can.
So Cincinnati has declared, which you have to do these days, an onside kick has to go 10 yards. And their only chance right here. So there have been 27 onside kicks attempted, of which 2 have been recovered by the kicking team. That's how tough it is
after
these days. Back to the 2-pointer we go.
This is after the throw on the 2-point conversion. Oh, wow. It's another one. And Joe doesn't complain very often. He didn't there. He just kind of grabbed his, wow, look at that follow through. And then you throw that, and then the Gesicki.
Yeah.
Terry, what do you see here on both these? The hit, the follow through on his face mask, and then Gesicki.
Yeah, it was clearly defensive holding before the pass was in flight.
Yeah.
That should have been called. And that does look like forcible contact to the head of the quarterback. That's a person that's roughing the passer and should have been called.
Too many games end this way. They just do.
Yep.
You miss calls, the whole thing. It's so frustrating to the fans. So frustrating. Well, it's not frustrating to the Baltimore fans tonight. But, Meanwhile, Mark Andrews recovers that. And in a game that came close to matching that first game this season between these two teams, the Ravens are going to do it again, sweep the season series.
Both these games were classics. Both these games were everything you'd love to see in divisional matchups. Baltimore, to their credit, great teams find ways to win games, but there'll be a lot of people are going to be talking about both of those non-calls there on the 2-point conversion. Doesn't mean that they would have ended up winning the game, but they would have definitely had another opportunity
every week. That'll take us to the finish line and take the Baltimore Ravens to a record of 7-3. Their next game at Pittsburgh against the division leaders. And the Bengals right now 4-6.